And after that, I was like, what school could set me up to become the best football player I could? And um, it was still a tough decision. I ended up taking another OV out to UCLA
Hmm.
that winter, but ultimately committed to Utah. I loved um, Coach Scally, Coach Powell. Just like I love the blue collar feel to Utah, where they're just like hitting, working, like grinding. They got things like down to a science. They got a good system. So I really love that about Utah. And at the time, I didn't see that as quite as much in BYU. Like it felt a little bit more unorganized almost. This was before Coach Hill was there.
Yeah.
They had wanted me to be, they were running like a lot more of a 3-man front, and they wanted me to be like a bigger, like kind of the bull position now, but like a 3-tech, sometimes 5-tech or 3-tech. Wanted me to get up to like 270. I was like, I kind of see myself as more of like a D-end linebacker hybrid than a D-end D-tackle hybrid. And so that's what kind of led me to go to Utah. I just felt like that would be the best place to develop as a football player. So that's where I committed.
And we're all mad. All the BYU fans are like, what the freaking heck, man? Like Hunter Clegg, like we're all excited about this kid.
Yeah, and both my parents went to BYU. Like,
yeah, it's a traitor, dude.
I love BYU as a school, but
yeah,
at that time I was like, hey,
didn't feel like the best football decision.
Yeah, I just that's what I wanted, to go to the NFL. I mean, I love BYU, but that wasn't really what my main goal was. Obviously, it would be a great plus to go somewhere like you'd love to go to school, but football was first. So that's what led me to commit to Utah.
Yeah.
And then, I committed that December, left on my mission, and didn't really think about it too much. Like I was all in Utah, my whole mission, and really excited about it. I remember like, because we were ahead in Armenia, like I'd wake up on a Sunday and the game would be like just ending. So I'd be like just itching for P-Day to like, and I like one time I like checked the score or something before I think it was the Oklahoma State game. I was like, finally, BYU's going to lose. But then they didn't. I was like, what happened? Like right at the end. And even like a bunch of the BYU games were tight like that.
Oh, they were.
Like, dang, when is BYU gonna lose? And they kept winning. And so that was disappointing. But later in my recruitment, or not my recruitment, I was already committed in my mission.
Yeah.
Just like about a month before I got home, I started like getting things ready, and you had to make sure like everything was worked out. So my dad was like talking to the coaches more and making sure like everything was set up for me getting home, and like how I was going to enroll, and like we started my enrollment and everything. But eventually one of my parents was talking to, I think, my uncle or someone. But they were talking a little bit about like BYU and just how things have changed. And my dad came to me and he was like no pressure. Like I'm not saying you should go to BYU or anything. Like he's not saying that at all. But he's like, a lot of the things that you were considering are
now available.
Now, available. Like there are some things that have changed. He's like, you should look into it. I was like, no, that's like so dumb. Like I'm not going to BYU. Like I kind of got that stigma in my head. Where I was like, nah, like I'm not going to be that guy that just classic kid from AF, like LDS kid goes on a mission, goes to BYU. Like, no, it's just a bad look. Like,
who wants to follow Chase Roberts' example?
Yeah,
bro?
like I don't want to be that guy that's just like, oh, I just love the church, so I'm gonna go to BYU. Like, no, I wanted to be like, no, I'm like a football player.
I'm serious about this.
I'm serious about like,
yeah.
I'm not just gonna go somewhere because that's what my church or my culture like tells me to do. Like, I want to be the best football player.
Yeah.
But my dad kind of made the point that it was like, well, you don't necessarily like BYU is different than when you left. So eventually I kind of talked about it thought about it, prayed about it, and I was willing to hop on get into conversation with some of the coaches. So we started talking about it, and I talked to some of the coaches. They kind of talked about what they thought of me, what they would want me to do, kind of the opportunities that were there. And what it kind of came down to was I started to believe really that BYU, from a football perspective, was just as good
Yeah.
at that point. That it would be just as good of an opportunity or better.
Yeah.
And I think that is proving more and more true the more I'm there. But at the time I was like, yeah, it seems actually pretty similar.
Yeah.
I know Coach Hill and Coach Scally, like, they actually don't run too different of a show. They were both at Utah for a long time.
Oh, dude, some of the signs are even
It's
the
kind
same.
of similar, yeah.
Not even just the schemes, some of the signs are even the same. Yeah.
But still I just felt like, oh, I could never just like do that to Utah and just switch right at the end. Like,
yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. But after a lot of prayer, fasting, and just deep contemplation, I felt that it was right, and I decided to make the change, and it's been amazing. A lot of things that I didn't even consider about like in the decision at all have been like really influential. Just the people I've been around.
Yeah.
There's just some really amazing men in the football program, both coaches and players, that I'm like, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have some of these influences.